I just bumped into Kevin, who was telling me about an incredibly interesting project, and I was saying, you know what? Wait till the camera's on and then tell me about it. So can you repeat some of the things we just said? What is the project?
Yeah, the project is OpenSBK, or Open Security Body of Knowledge.
And what is that?
It's something I made up.
Okay.
But so I'm like, I was bored one day and thought, what the hell? Let's register a domain name.
We need more acronyms in security.
If we don't have enough acronyms, right? It's absolutely. So the idea is, in my opinion, we have way too many people trying to get into InfoSec and not knowing how to get into InfoSec. Like, I want to be clear. I love everybody wanting to get into InfoSec. But they look at it and they look and say, okay, the only way to do this is to pay $7,000 or $8,000 for a boot camp or that kind of crap. And I don't like that. And I've been in this industry for too long, right? I'm old. And people come to me all the time and say, what do I need to know? How do I need to learn this? I want to be a reverse engineer. I want to be a pen tester. What do I want to do? And so me and a group of people, John Strand, Jason Gillum, everybody else like that, we got together and we've started building out job matrices, which is a fancy way of saying, what do I need to know to be a beginner or apprentice pen tester? What do I need to know to be an intermediate reverse engineer or whatever, right? So
as a question though, it's like, immediately my mind goes to training. Like, it's like training, because if someone goes, hey, Alex Silk, I want to get into penetration testing. What should I do? Often I say, go to TryHackMe or go to PicoCTF.
Yep.
This isn't a training.
No, this is not training, because here's the issue. I love, both of the examples you gave are great, right? I love that they're there. But when people go into TryHackMe or, MetaCTF or whatever, they're overwhelmed quite often with what are the 7 things that I should start with, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea with OpenSBK is you pick the job you want, right? It's kind of like dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Yeah.
That's why I dress like Darth Vader all the time, right?
Or a ninja.
Yeah, okay, good. But if you were dressed like a ninja, I wouldn't see you. But then they can go here and say, okay, to be a network pen tester, I need to understand, and I'm going to make up some examples here, right? But I need to understand subnetting. I need to understand the difference between UDP and TCP. I need to understand that the OSI model is crap, right? Whatever. And then when I go look at the training available, the YouTube videos, the blog posts, I can focus on, okay, I know this now. Let me pick up the next topic. And it's based on, I'm a nerd with lists. When I wanted to get into security, I came up with a list of 10 things I felt I needed to know. And I learned one of them. And then I had a list of 37 things that I needed to know. And I learned another one. And I had a list of 53 things I needed to learn. My list is currently somewhere around 8 trillion items, right? And so what we're hoping to do is give people that list, not with 8 trillion items, up front. So they can focus where their interest is instead of stumbling around and, okay, I got that. Right?
The thing I love about this too is oftentimes there's almost 2 types of times you go, I want to learn, we'll say hacking. I want to learn something. Right. Usually it's, I have a problem or I have a passion and I want to go fix it. So I want to go learn how to hack websites because I think it would be fun. And I think that's a great reason just to learn. I want to learn this because it's fun. Then there's other times you go, okay, this was fun. I've learned this hobby. Now I want to turn this into a career. And a big problem you're hitting on this is this whole common idea of you only know what you know. If I want to know I want to go into web security, I will go, okay, I'm going to learn OWASP, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, but then you're like, oh wait, I also need to learn RESTful APIs, and I have to learn, SSL needs to protect those things, so I kind of need some of the networking, but that stuff also sits on top of Apache, so I need some of the infrastructure stuff.
And with your example for SSL, actually you need to know TLS, and you screw people up with these acronyms and things they need to learn. So I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. So what I love about this though is if that whole concept, if you only know what you know, is this framework idea would help focus you towards a career where you go, I want to be, instead of going, I'm following my passions, I want to learn web testing, you go, I want to learn how to be a penetration tester or a web application penetration tester or whatever. And then your resources would lead me. Not necessarily, they wouldn't be the resource.
No,
They would lead me.
We're purposely trying to do this so that we're not releasing training. And I want to be clear, I'm biased. My organization does training, okay? So we don't want this to be a training resource, because what we've found over time, and I'm not going to name ISC Squared and EC Council and SANS out loud.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, no, not going to say them out. What you see is companies, none of them named, go out there, they start with really good missions, right? And then it's $8,000 for a class. Or they plagiarize a class. Or, right, like, so the goal is, let's not compete there. Let's support whoever wants to train. And I'll give you an example. Tim Tomes, right? You may know him, right? PracticeSec. He's got this course on web pen testing, friggin' awesome, right? But how do you know that his course teaches you to be a pen tester? Now, I'll tell you it does, because I know Tim. But this framework, you can look at the framework and say, web pen testing, dump, 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 dump. Tim Tomes' class, bump, 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 bump. They match. That means this course is hopefully, it doesn't guarantee it. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it's not absolutely.
What's interesting about this is that it's very similar to something like a NIST or an ISO framework.
Yes.
Because you go, just because you're NIST compliant doesn't mean you're secure. Just because you're ISO compliant doesn't mean you're secure. But it's the framework that drives you towards security.
Yes.
Again, you have a control. Those controls dictate policies. Policies dictate procedures. Procedures need evidence.
Yep.
But it's a framework, because that framework is going to lay out, oh, you should know these concepts and these concepts.
Absolutely.
So we've been talking this whole time, and I'm fascinated because I talk about this for hours now, because it helps. This actually satiates a need in the industry, which I think
so.
Has been there for a long time, because oftentimes you go to try hack me, go to Pico CTF, but you lose some of these other skills. Out of curiosity, when you're designing this framework, how much of it do you also, I would say, encapsulate things like communicate, like the soft skills, communication, writing skills, and things like that?
Because, God, I'm blanking on the guy's name that just did a talk that was amazing. Jason Haddock shared it with me. I'm saying that because I'm trying to think of okay, I'm not going to remember it. But he did this awesome talk about how, it's great that you know how to pop shells and, right, like, that's awesome. But can you talk to an executive? Can you, communicate in the report?
Can you write a report? Arguably, I have argued this point previously, saying that is the most important. It's the
only thing that stays after you leave.
Exactly. That's the only product the client gets. If you're the best tester in the world, but the report's crap, overall,
the test was crap. Yep, absolutely.
So keep going. I interrupted
you.
No,
it's okay. That's shit, man. It's what I do. Right? So the idea is to encompass all of that. And then we work with, like, John Strand. I don't know if you know him from Black Hills, right? He runs the anti-siphon training system. And what I like about this, not pimping something. Well, okay, maybe I'm pimping it. But
it's okay. Not sponsored.
Yeah. But with John Strand's anti-siphon, what John has done is he's gone out and grabbed the best of the best instructors. Doesn't matter who they work for. Doesn't matter if they compete with him, whatever. And he's brought them together. I will say, he's brought the best of the best and me, right? So, but he's brought all of these people in to give practitioner training. He's got instructors, right? And that's awesome. We see that come out of lots of people, like Tim Tomes. He's not, as far as I know, he's not part of Anti-Siphon. He does his own training. He does great. You see stuff like, Chris Sanders' training classes, right? How do we get, and Chris Sanders has the soft skills training that's awesome. How do you get that type of stuff to fit a framework? We got to have the framework. Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's what I think.
The funny thing you said is you're like, he has amazing people and me. I have cracked up. This has happened twice since I started a YouTube channel.
Right.
Someone goes, I just want to thank just these people who have just had, taught me so much. And they're like, Network Chuck, John Hammond, Alex Chevrolet. And it's like, this great person, this awesome person, and this guy. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, totally, right?
So where is the framework right now? Is it finished? Is it version 1?
No. It's not even version 1. We've just started making it public. We've been working on building a structure. It's on GitHub is where the projects are. You can actually reach out to me at kevin@opensbk.org.
Excellent. I'll include these links in the description below.
I appreciate that. Or at kevin@secureideas.com, which is actually my real email address. But and what we're doing right now is we're trying to get people to help us build this, because what I want to make sure of is, and my biggest fear for this project, is that it becomes some corporate bullshit. We're pimping this class through this framework. And it can't be that.
Yeah,
it has to be.
You don't want to have the high trust problem.
Exactly, right? Like,
for anyone who doesn't know, you have NIST, you have ISO, and then you have these people who made a great framework in some ways.
I was going to say, I don't know if I agree.
Arguably. But then they go, and it's a good framework that you have to pay a remarkable amount of money for.
But have you actually read the license?
I have not. Actually, I have another person on my team who probably has, but I have not.
So what you're going to want to say right now, because I believe you're a consultant like me, right?
Yep.
So you're going to say right now that a guy on my team has never purchased that framework because the license forbids consultants from buying it.
He has, I can honestly say, he has not. We do like virtual CISO work and stuff like that.
Good answer. Because, like, what the hell? They build a framework that they're going to enforce on people. And then they say, yeah, you people who help companies get there, you can't read it.
Yeah, it's utterly ridiculous.
Stupid. Well, so how many frameworks out there? How many of those standards ISO that cost money to even see the framework?
This is like an XKCD comic, which is like, I love that comic. I love the comic.
Yes.
Where it's like, there are 15 standards to be able to do this thing. And someone goes, this is so stupid. There's 15 standards. I'm going to make one standard to unite them all. And the next frame is, there are now 16 standards to do
yes,
this thing.
Absolutely. And that's what we're afraid of, is we don't want those types of things to happen. So that's what we're working on.
I love this idea. I really do. Because if you want to dive into this field, to be able to say incident response, pen tester, what other ones is there if you can?
So we're doing like malware analyst. We're talking reverse engineer. We're talking secure software developer. We're talking SOC analyst, threat team, threat hunter, threat modeler. We're using the NIST NICE job descriptions is what we're basing it on. That's actually trying to not have another standard. Let's not make up new jobs. Let's use one that people have blessed somehow. Yeah.
I love this.
Good.
Thank you so much for coming on. This is actually a legitimately cool project.
I appreciate that.
The whole concept I love. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for watching. And as always, hack on.